Sage has another video game review for people today, and it's going to be for the video game Pentiment. Sage, let people know about this game. About that.
So this is a super unique gem. This came out in, I believe, 2022 originally, and then as part of the small list of former Xbox exclusives that have gone multi-platform, this was kind of in that very first batch that made its way over to the PlayStation. So it's now, I believe, on all platforms. But this is a very interesting, kind of unique little style of game. It's a partially a point and click, but also partially a kind of murder mystery adventure game with this really interesting, like mid-century German, like religious text art style to the whole thing. It's definitely something that you don't see in a lot of games or any games. I mean, it's definitely I think unique graphic style. Um, I can't say I've seen even animation really that's tried to look like this, except for like the one example I can think of are the borders of the fairy tale book in the like opening narration of Shrek.
Mhm.
That's about it. But yeah, it really puts you in this spirit and mood of this time. You are a uh, artist working at a an abbey, and this church has a very contentious relationship with the peasants and the townsfolk nearby. The church is taxing them more and more, and then a rich socialite who's like visiting and hiring art out of this scriptorium library in the church is guy's murdered, and they lock up someone who pretty obviously is not responsible as and there's kind of like hold him, and you get kind of appointed as the sheriff in a certain sense, and you've got a pretty small game world here. Like it is a map with like lines that are like carved in just a couple spots, travel between maybe uh, like a 5 miles worth of actual space. But there's so many characters. There's so much dialogue here. This is a if you don't want to read a lot when you're playing something, this is definitely not for you. This is an example. This game has no voice acting at all. I don't think, except for maybe once or twice to make like a very specific point. But it's almost like reading a book, right? This is like an old school kind of 90s adventure game, not quite Monkey Island or Day of the Tentacle, but something like another world maybe, where you're going from like screen to screen, and there's all these kind of transitions into different environments. The art style is beautiful. This is another game that has a just really remarkable look to it. Um, I'm consistently wowed by the visuals, and then you also get this interesting dose of like Roman art too, because it's taking place in a part of Europe where there are Roman ruins from the collapse of the empire, and there's a lot of interesting history and the folklore surrounding like the pagan deities that the town looks up to, and then the church clearly rebranding those as like Christian narratives with like different names attached. Um, what's something that I think makes the mystery part of this game, I think, really interesting and really good for replay is there's actually three different. Um, this game takes place over like 20 years worth of time or something like that. You see there's a bunch of time jumps, and each time jump there's like a different murder investigation that you have to solve. And there's, each one you've got a whole bunch of different characters that clues might point towards, and you only have so much time to choose what you want to investigate. Time will pass automatically here. And the clues may point towards a particular person, but what's interesting is the game never 100% tells you this person is the right person. So you can play it, choose to investigate a different set of clues, and totally come to a entirely different but also still reasonable conclusion. And I think it loads to the replayability. This is already a decently long game. You'll probably put 17 to 20 hours into this. Um, but it makes you want to kind of go back and revisit because there's like these long trails where you clearly could have chosen to do something else and had like hours of a different experience entirely.
Mm, okay. I do love the art style. I do like that kind of going on here. That's very nice. And you said you can get some good amount of time on this game, up to 20 hours of it. This is a very highly nominated game as well.
Yeah, a
There,
lot of writing awards. And this is
yeah,
Obsidian, who also did Fallout New Vegas, which we did a review for a little while back. So this is that same writing team, at least most of them. And this was like a passion project. They've been doing like the Outer Worlds, Avowed, these more kind of mid-tier RPGs, but this was like a little side project, passion project sort of thing that they squeezed in between the development of two main games. And this something like this is so much of it is you're just reading dialogue. This game hinges entirely, it lives or dies on its writing. And thankfully, I think it's got fantastic writing. I'm able to strike a line between some old English and having it be some, very kind of period specific dialogue, but it is able to have just enough kind of just normal, just human relatable dialogue that isn't necessarily feel dated to any time in there as well. So it's not overwhelmingly like literary, like it's not like picking up Shakespeare and just reading through that as is without any experience. It still has like a nice, more modern kind of pace to the way they speak.
mm, okay. This won a Peabody Award in 2013. I mean, 2023. I'm sorry. It won that there. It was nominated at the New York Game Awards there. At the 19th British Academy Game Awards, New Nebula Awards, 23rd Game Developer Choice Awards there. There it won for Best Narrative. Won for
Yep.
that. It was nominated at the Golden Joystick Awards and the 84th Annual Peabody Awards, which I said like won the interactive and immersive category there. Very nice. It got generally favorable reviews from the critics there. Had a Metacritic score of 86 out of 100. Pretty nice there. OpenCritic gave it 86 out of 100. About 88% of critics recommended it, so pretty nice there. And also, it's pretty much seems like it's $20 everywhere. You think that's a good price? $20?
Oh, it's super reasonable. It's another one I got on a really good sale, so it was I think less than 10, maybe like 7.99 when I picked it up. But $20 is more than reasonable. My only caveat, and it's not a criticism of the game itself so much, but just that because it's a slow paced, it's entirely about its story. Um, it is almost like reading a book at times with how much that just there is information being given to you. There certainly are puzzles at times, but they're pretty mild. They're never like difficult puzzles. The game makes it pretty easy to, like, I don't think you can get stuck. I don't think there's a possibility of you just getting like locked and not being able to continue. Um, if you're looking for like difficulty at all in your game, this isn't going to provide that. And also, just if you're someone that just needs a little more direct stimulation, more control over what's going on,
I mean,
in
it seems like
terms
he's
of,
getting some stimulation right there. It seems like.
yes, he is. uh, but just in terms of like being able to move around and have more, just be challenged on a timing level or a precision level, you're not really going to get that here. It's really all about its story. So if you wouldn't read a book, you might not like this.
Mm, okay. So Sage says your literacy is poor. Do not get Pentiment there. You would not like it. All right. So what was your rating? Did you give it
So I would give it a peak.
a peak?
Um,
Okay.
and the only thing pulling it down from going higher really is just that I think it is so niche that it can't possibly be that like all around appealing, like everybody's gonna love it sort of thing. I think if you're into what this is doing or this type of genre of game to begin with, I think it'll probably be one of your favorites of its kind. But it's just really not going to appeal to everybody.
Mm, okay. So a nice peak from Sage for Pentiment there. Seems like a game there. Appeals to a certain type of player. Maybe not for everybody, but if it is your thing, seems like you're gonna have a good time with it. So,
There's a big focus on typography as well. So like there's sometimes the font or the cursive is like I had to stop and be like, all right, let me because it's like all these different styles and formats where the letters are all done differently, and it can take if you're not super familiar with it, it could be a little bit of a struggle to read some of it.
mm, okay. Well, that was Sage's review of Pentiment.